blinkers on. Blinkers on, number 3. Number 12, Money in the Bank. The rider will have no whip and a rider change. On number 13, Thorny Tail to Jorge Vargas Jr. Jorge Vargas Jr. on the 13, Thorny Tail in the 10th race. Main track is fast. Jackpot carryover in the Empire 6, $139,360. We'll come back at 11:20 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 11:50. Up next, the Sunday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Andy Serling, joined by Anthony Stabile for the final Talking Horses.
The closest I had to a Santa jacket.
You probably have better than that.
I don't.
You have
no.
an actual. We have the one that you use on Christmas Eve.
Right, I do help Santa on Christmas Eve. No, that one's.
That's your story. You're sticking with it.
That one's long gone. That one's long gone.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. You ready for today? So today, why don't we go over to Naira Bets before we talk about today's business and get this important business
Our
out
only
of the way.
Our only piece of house cleaning
Well,
today.
the same yesterday.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, what better way to celebrate the holiday than signing yourself and your loved ones up for Naira Bets? What better way to show your love for someone by giving them an account to
Third
bet
place
for Naira
cigar
Bets?
with third place cigar mile finisher performer.
There you have it, right? Yep. We're gonna start a series of these with horses that run third in important Grade 1s. We will match them with $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200. Head to NairaBets.com. Support racing in New York. Play through Naira Bets. Yesterday's track, you know, it's a funny track because obviously horses were rallying up the inside, and it wasn't necessarily speed. It was horses that were near the pace or coming from behind, but using the inside. We did see some races, though, that had aggressive tactics, and there were pace fell apart a little bit, and we saw outside closures. So it wasn't one of those rails that I think was increasingly obvious. But when I was looking at the speed figures last night, it became clear that the rail was an advantage. When you see a horse like Backside the Moon, and a lot of credit to Jose Lozcano, outbroke the field and got the lead.
105.
We got the lead with a horse that just isn't a speed type, and it certainly helped the victory. And that horse getting 105. Now, we're fans of Backside the Moon. His whole career, he's been a 98 buyer-ish type
I think
horse.
he got 100 one time in his career.
So
maybe.
105. You see the Ruvies in Time got an 85. The Christophe Clement first-time starter got an 80. Now, that horse may be very talented. I'm not knocking it. And Ruvies in Time is a nice horse, but they're higher numbers than you would reasonably expect them to get. And that's often a sign that there was a bias involved that could go away, because the reality is it didn't exist at all on Friday. I mean, Friday's track was as fair as could be, and it was as slow as Friday.
You know, I was going to ask you that question. When you see the results from yesterday, right, and we start talking about maybe the inside's good, what do you do now with Nikki DeVest? Could it have been changing at that point?
Well, I don't think it was changing on Friday, but I think there were some indications on Friday that the rail wasn't a bad place to be. The horse of Jeremiah Englehart's, the maiden that you had second, that rallied up the inside from well back.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So I think, you know, there
were
some hints that it wasn't a bad thing to be inside. So it's an odd track. It's not one of these. It wasn't like a Belmont Stakes weekend.
Right, where you just want to lay on a rail and just roll.
There are also some inside tracks where it's virtually impossible to gain on the outside. I don't think that was the case, because even in races that were somewhat dominated towards the front end, you think about the race where the horse for America's Pastime, for Cantermassy, Trey, that ran down this big chateau. 1-2 speeds, but the horses that were closing, they were closing on the outside, so it's not like they weren't able to make some kind of runs outside and still run reasonably effectively.
The Arriaga horse.
Yeah, Carse was not on the rail. He was closing towards the outside. He ran the same figure he ran last time. Yeah, he probably improved a little bit, but I don't think it was hampering as much as it was helping horses towards the inside. We'll see if it continues. It could very easily be different.
I can't remember the name. Well, the Control Stake was, I mean, the Arriaga
Control
horse.
Stake was in the two-path, but that was a very fast pace that fell apart. Obviously, the second horse should have won. Forgetting about him being wide and such, and the winner having a very good trip and a good ride, and there were really very little Pablo Morales could do, because he got eliminated at the break when a 1,000,000-to-1 shot eliminated him at the start, the number 9 outside of him. Race number 1 today. 4 of these races are bringbacks from Thursday, and this is one of them. The horse to beat is quite obviously Chasing Cara, and Mitch Friedman has a real chance to sweep the double, and especially yesterday's track, you'd have to think he's telling Dylan Davis, you're going to the front, Dylan.
Yeah.
And
no question
makes
about
Chasing Cara even more tough. You've got her third.
Got to get the mile. I know the one race going the mile against Lubin on a prayer and Frost Me. She's got to get the mile.
What do you like about Galena?
I'm just taking a little swing. I didn't love what I had seen from
this
most
horse?
of these. Well, I just took a little swing. They ran this horse long on a turf first time out. It's a mine shaft. The blinkers go on. I just wanted to give this horse a chance at a big price on the dirt.
Okay, this is a horse that has an exceptional turf pedigree. The dam herself is a very good turf horse. She's produced 4 runners that have run in the grass, and they've all run very, very well. They've never even bothered with dirt because it's all turf. She was 50-to-1 in her debut, despite an exceptional turf pedigree, and now you're taking her in the dirt. I wish
she might not be able to run at all.
Is there a story on this horse at all?
No, not at all.
No story.
No, but she's going to be 30-to-1 in a race where she's a little bit of a swing.
50-to-1.
She's a little bit of a swing, but I don't. You can have Chasing Cara if you want her at 9-to-5. I'm going to take a little swing.
Chasing Cara at 9-to-5 is an overlay in this race. The thing with teetotaler, one thing I don't like about the 5 teetotalers I picked is that she didn't get bet in her debut.
No.
She was 4-to-1, and she was a much shorter price in doubles. So she was DOB. Kickback is something that David Aragon and I frequently disagree about. He adheres to it more than I do. I think when horses have experience, I don't think the kickback is an issue particularly. I do think a first-time starter, if you look at her in that race, she was coated in dirt. She was inside. She just got absolutely, she popped up at the start, blew the brake, and then just got completely covered, and that was right at the beginning of the meet. That was the second day of the meet. I think the kickback was a bit of an issue, so I think she got a very good education first time out. We'll find out if she can run today. I thought it was all 1s and 5s in this race.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, they're the two logical horses. It's kind of, but I just wanted to take a little bit of a crazy shot in the first.
Race number 2. Big scratches in race number 2 with both Frost Me and Irish Constitution. The only race, except for the one pick I really liked today in the third race, somehow 6 scratches today. They found my favorite bet of the entire day to scratch. I always love that. That changed the complexion of the race. Take a look at Mitch Friedman's shocking debut winner, Karamoka, as he potentially could sweep this early double. And, you know, she's pretty quick. And I once again think he's going to tell Dylan Davis, you go with this filly. Why would you, especially even if the track is fair, assume yesterday's track not relevant. Why would you go away from what worked first time?
No reason to.
And I tell you what, if you didn't know she was 99 to 1, you'd have thought she was a 9 to 5 first-time starter.
Yeah, I mean, she went to the top, and she improved position from the top of the stretch to the wire. I don't know. I hate betting horses horses that run at these huge prices first time. I don't want them back. And she's going to be a short price.
You're the king of taking horses off of good selections at decent prices, coming back at short prices.
Decent prices.
You wear that crown.
Whether I pick them or not, I don't like horses at 100 to 1, 50 to 1, 40 to 1 that don't take any money first time.
There's a lot going on in that race. The reality is that she has a superior pedigree for a horse to win on 100 to 1.
She does.
This is something that I even said on the show. I wouldn't say it if I hadn't said it before the race. For a horse that was a crazy price, she had the best pedigree in that race.
I mean, for her pedigree, they did not pay a lot of money for her.
You know, whatever. You could probably, she probably couldn't get her for 100,000 now.
She didn't switch in the stretch. People will say, well, that's stupid to say. She won by 5 lengths, over 4 lengths. Why do you care if she didn't switch?
So why do you like Secret Love?
Well, you know what? I liked Secret Love a little bit more when Irish Constitution was in here. Namely, Irish Constitution was in there. Well, because I think Irish Constitution would have been putting the pressure on Karamoka.
But isn't Secret Love helped by her leaving because she has speed and she can be sitting second in here?
Yeah, I would have rather her pocket it up behind a couple of speeds than having to do...
I think you're mistaken in thinking that Irish Constitution's a lot faster than her. Irish Constitution's never been involved in any kind of pace that was even remotely quick. Her 2 races she was on the lead, she was absolutely crawling. Secret Love was chasing a reasonable pace, relatively speaking. So I actually don't think that. I think the scratch helped Secret Love.
There was intent on putting Irish Constitution on the lead. Now you're saying, well,
no,
she was chasing.
She was the lone speed in a paceless race. There's a big difference between sending a horse and being lone speed in a paceless race.
Well, first time, I mean,
she was a lone speed in a paceless race. She was. You may remember that the third place finisher. She's the one who didn't run.
She's the one who didn't run.
She's the one that got bet. Yeah. So I think Secret Love's actually helped by the scratches. I'm not sure if I had to do over again, I wouldn't have her a bit higher. I like Rosa Veloci. Rosa Veloci actually showed speed last time. Now, I don't know what she's going to do, but she got involved in a pretty rapid pace last time and just lost to the They Knew of the Century with Vaquet, who was a short price that day, and she won like they just knew the race was being run off a slow debut, and she did all the dirty work up front. I kind of like Rosa Veloci. I had the turf with her. She's not a turf horse. She ran back off her debut. It didn't run particularly well, but she was chasing that day. I think Rosa Veloci makes sense in here. I don't love her on yesterday's track. I like your horse more on yesterday's track, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I like 4s and 6s in here.
It appears to be 4, 6, 7 on paper. I don't think you need the 2 geniuses up here to let you know that. Race number 3, I'm extremely disappointed because I really liked Madam McLean in here, and I'm very sorry to see her scratched out of this race. Maybe I should be happy. Maybe she's a vet scratch, and therefore I should be happy. Scratch. By the way, 4th yesterday, big win for the Luch connection, so 50 to 1 at Gulfstream. Think he got fat? So I think this was an extremely tough race. There is speed in this race. I loathe the horses that you have won too. I think they're horrendous bets in here at short prices, and I look forward to betting against them. But go ahead, talk about the 10.
You know what? I had a really, really tough time with this race.
So you've settled on the favorites.
But I settled on the favorites. Yeah,
Congratulations.
I didn't have enough trust in the fuzzies. I don't even know who the real fuzzies are going to be in here. I didn't look at the morning line.
But what do you like about Dial Me Up?
I mean, the barn is continuing to win races. I know it's gotten a little slow.
They sent this horse out of town.
They sent the horse out of town, but look, they sent the horse out of town, and instead of running, here she is, instead of running her in allowance races to start, you know what I mean? They're running her for the 42 life. They're running her where she likely belongs.
She probably belongs in a 20, but I get it. Or maybe a 12, but.
Well, it's a conditioned claim.
Did you look at the horse that she beat last time?
Listen, she's been out of town for her last 2 starts. That obviously is an indication, but again, she's here for the condition tag.
Nothing will shock me in this race, but I think this is a dreadful favorite. She's got an outside post, so she's going to have to maneuver herself into position. There's other speeds in this race. She's never run a particularly good race. There are plenty in here that are as fast, if not faster. She's doomed to be the favorite. Clement's horses are going to take money, especially the kind of years you say he had. So I think she has all the accoutrements of a horrendous bet at a short price. I'm not going to fall out of my chair if she wins. I'm not going to fall out of my chair if Madeira wins, because Madeira could, if it's yesterday's racetrack, get the right kind of trip in there. And I thought Eric rode very well yesterday. He was aggressive. He had to be. An assumption with Madeira that Carl Broberg, who is a 20% trainer off the claim with a negative ROI, but it's still a decent one when you consider the takeout, consider the money his horse, I'm sure, take, where he runs mostly at smaller track. To assume that he is going to extend his talents as a claiming trainer to Naira as he first got here, that's a bit of a stretch for me. This horse is not much racehorse. I mean, she was on as strong a speed track as we had the entire year last time. And I know the pace looks fast because she and Buyer's Remorse were dueling. Wishes and Dreams pick up the pieces at the end. Somebody has to come running. But she is completely dressed up by surface, and I just think she's really not much horse. I mean,
Obviously.
I don't like at all. I guess the 10 has an outside chance. The problem is I liked a horse that got scratched. So now I sort of go back to the drawing board, and I thought a horse like Kazar and Yasmin-esque were both the interesting closers if the pace got hot up front. I mean, I think Violent Point's a little bit interesting, but Violent Point has never been able to win a race without the lead. Now, Kendrick may do everything he can to get the lead, and if he does, I think he can win. And I'd rather bet Violent Point, who as a 2-year-old ran a speed figure that was fast in these, albeit on a wet track. But I think she's improved as a horse, and she always was able to handle the dirt. So I thought she wasn't impossible, and I like, the trainer switch Chris Englehart. It's not a bad thing for her.
No, it's not. But like you said, not only is her best race controlling, but her better race.
Oh, she needs to be in front. But Kendrick knows that. And the question is, will other people? Because we're seeing other people being aggressive in these races. Now, as far as Kazar, listen, I know it's a sloppy track, but her 3rd place finish, 3 back, 5.5 furlongs, gaining on 2 speeds is good enough to make her a player in here, and she's going to be. I mean, she's a 10-to-1 morning line. You look at her other dirt race; she's run fine on fast tracks. In fact, there's an argument she's better on fast tracks than wet tracks. So I know she's got races. I mean, she has speed figures in dirt races that are faster than horses that are going to be a quarter of the price that she is.
She does.
So why not take a shot with her? Because I think these favorites are wildly vulnerable.
And if you think that there could be some pace in here, it certainly helps her cause.
Obviously, she's going to need the race to
She
come
needs
apart
help,
a little bit.
yeah.
No question about it. I agree.
She needs help.
And, you don't know how it's going to be run. Madeira, she better hope that she gets a bias dramatically in her favor, in my opinion. But maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe Carl Broberg will come here, and in a month and a half, we'll be saying you got to bet every Broberg horse off the claim. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not familiar enough in knowing if he dramatically improves these horses or he's one of these guys that just makes good claims and they come back and he puts them in the proper spot. And I think he'd probably be the first to admit he's just running horses here. He's trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, trying to figure out what's going on. I think that's you know what? I think that's the right approach.
Listen, the guy's had enormous success.
Yeah, dip your toe in the
I'm
water.
not in any way knocking him. I don't mean that.
I mean, and listen, he knows he's not only is he going to an unfamiliar place. He's going to
Yeah, I think that's why I'm saying you think he's going to come here right away and suddenly be performing miracles. I think he would laugh if you said that to him.
Right. No, but
He said, I hope I do, but
right. Yeah. No.
We'll see.
He's a sharp guy.
Yeah. No, he obviously is. He's got a big Twitter presence, so he has to be smart. Somebody thanked me the other day for him going on Twitter. Poor guy. He'll be hating me in a few. He'll be hating me eventually. Now, I want you to know I had picked this horse in the race. We go to race number 4 before I actually talked to Christophe Clement. But how can I resist a horse that's a half to look into bikinis?
Yeah.
And by the way, they found a civilized name for this horse, Tom.
Wonder what that is.
You don't know where the Guan River, if you don't know, I can't tell you. It's sworn to secrecy. Race number 4, as we go to it, I want to look at Bird Ruler, who you have 4th and I have nowhere, and I think could be a short price in here.
I do too.
Of that 70. I don't like this horse. I don't. The horse that won the race, a Dale Romans horse, is not much racehorse. I wonder if this figure has a lot to do with the sloppy track last time. I'm not saying she ran badly. You know I have a lot of respect for Bruce Levine, and Flying Pete does a good job claiming horses. I felt like this horse with a mile and the 70 buyer would be kind of short in here. I don't want this horse. I don't trust this horse. But what if she gets loose?
Well, yeah.
It's loose,
This
I
horse
guess,
got
this
a-
track.
Tyler Gaffalione gave this was a very aggressive ride last time out. I was covering the show.
He's turned
This-
into one of the best jockeys in the country.
Yes, he has. We were covering this race on HRN, and I mean, this was they were going. It says 46. They looked like they were going a lot faster than 46. They were hitting up front.
Eye test?
In here. No, they were. I mean, they were. You know, you see 46s and horses are these. They were hitting up front. This horse just ran out of gas. Now, on paper, it's going to look like this horse.
On
made a
yesterday's
move.
track, this horse is very
Yeah,
dangerous.
very tough. But on paper, it's going to look like this horse moved into a fast pace, got involved in a fast pace, and got tired. You know, first time, this horse had a pretty good trip first time. And,
Well, the
and
first time
didn't
started
really-
going a mile, though. Didn't
Yeah,
run
no,
that
no, no.
badly.
Listen. But when you combine the fact that this horse was running for a tag both times, even though the 150 is really not a tag, they did drop this horse in for a tag last time out, even if we're going to assume the 150 is not.
I know there are some big purchase prices in here. Let me ask you a question. Of the 9 entered, how many of you think will be running for a tag within the next year, assuming they're still racing? The over and under is at least 5.5. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is not a particularly impressive bunch. And, you know, you're taking a horse, Rugged Union, who got bet first time. Got a stat for Todd Pletcher, for what it's worth. Listen, you're not the only one who likes his horse.
I
David
got a
likes
big
his
story. I
horse.
had a big story on this horse first time. This
He had a
was
big
the
story
day,
in the California Chrome yesterday.
This
Where
was
that
the
horse
day.
can't run at all.
This was the day where they told me the 2-year-old on the turf might need the race.
That one won.
But had talent.
You're right. You've got that race that number from your phone by now.
No.
By the way, that's Rugged Union with 2 eyes apparently. I feel like I'm blurry here or something. Anyhow, for what it's worth, you know, he just doesn't have, you know, the stats are okay, but the numbers, I don't know. I feel like he's getting desperate with this horse. This horse was brutal first time out.
Gets an outside draw, gets a pair of blinkers, stretches out to the mile. I'd like to think the people that call me can't be that wrong.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll see a different horse today. Sometimes one start makes a big difference, but I can't take this horse. I'm not going to be shocked when he loses, but
I probably
wins. I mean, but
I probably slept the Clement first during here.
well, the
I
Clement
probably slept
Firster
the Clement
moved up
first during
yesterday after George, the George horse won.
By George.
By George, because Guan River Valley is that horse's workmate, and they're working together. So I have to look into bikinis, stop mile first time start, the way his horses are winning. Got to assume this horse is probably a runner. I mean, I thought of the horses that ran. I don't trust the figure that Repo Rocks ran last time, but Repo Rocks is okay. He's had his share of chances. I thought Nepotism was dangerous. Horse got bet first time out, lost to a Mott horse that wired the field at Belmont. Speed was pretty good that day at Belmont, especially early in the card. So I thought Nepotism ran fine there. I thought Nepotism was the logical horse.
I thought Nepotism was the logical horse too. I just wanted to bet the tip back. Nepotism was supposed to sit off Bird Ruler in here, right?
Well, yeah, I think Repo Rocks is going to go as well.
Okay.
I mean, what about Overtook? I kind of prefer Overtook to Rugged Union. At least Overtook did some running first time out.
Blinkers come off, cutting back to a 1-turn mile after running the 2 turns behind Known Agenda. Yeah, I mean,
I thought that
He
horse
makes
would
a
run.
little
I thought that
sense.
horse would run a little bit better. I liked Overtook's first race, and they tried a mile and an eighth, coming back in 4 weeks from 6 furlongs to a mile and an eighth. I thought that horse was a logical. Of the Pletchers, I preferred Overtook, the $1 million horse. We'll see. I'm going to take Guan River Valley though, and the horse worked with By George and So by George, I know the figure may have been enhanced by the track, but that's still a horse.
Doesn't matter, horse ran.
Horse is still pretty good, first-time starter. Race number 5, closing out the early pick 5. We had 2 horses live for the whole for a carryover. Long shots in the last, but nonetheless. So race number 5. What are we doing in race number 5?
I am doing Make or Break, the number 8 for Tony Dutrow.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to a replay.
No, don't go to replay. Don't get
go
excited.
to replay.
Francis.
Don't go to replay. So we see drops for dropping's sake, and I think we see drops to win. And I think this is just a drop to win. They took this horse for 40,000. Obviously, thought they were going to be able to move up. Whatever they claimed her out of a straight 3-year-old race for 40. Ran her against the older horses. She ran well behind Stunning Munnings in the slop. They tried her at the mile last time out. I actually thought she ran okay last time. She's won at a mile. I just think the drop is the best hop's a drop, and I just think that this, again, this is a drop to win.
She's going to be favored. I don't love her. It's a bad claim. Claimed the horse from Rob Atras. I don't see it in the same way you're suggesting as a horrendous drop because it just wasn't a very good claim.
Yeah, they're dropping to win. They're dropping to win.
This wasn't a very good claim.
That's all.
They made a mistake in the claim.
Hey,
and
listen,
moving on.
it's the second time it hasn't been a very good claim, right? So it was claimed twice.
Maybe
now.
Love Me Tomorrow or Wire the Field at a mile.
Could you imagine? We've seen. You know what's funny about that? We've seen it enough times where these horses take.
But she didn't run. The problem with that is you have to use the argument that they're fast enough to win races, and she's mightily slow. But at yesterday's track, she would be helped. I like a bridge too far in this race. We'll take a look at a bridge too far winning back here, December 28th, almost a year ago, 300 and how many days ago?
Leap year 56.
Ooh, so that's why you're sharp. It's 58.
58. Yeah,
That was good. At least you remember the leap year. I tried to catch you, and you buried me again. So good call.
Source was 3.5 to 1.
Can't subtract.
Source was 3.5 to 1 into the Great Johanna after winning this race. 3.5 to 1.
I just thought she was getting back to the right surface. I'm not sure she wants a mile, but I just thought she was getting back to the right surface, and they're dropping her so precipitously. Maybe she can't run anymore, but I'm not sure what she was doing up in synthetic. I don't know why Mark Cassidy, I guess maybe he figured she wasn't that quick, but it's a New York bred that he took up to Canada to run in synthetic.
She also disappeared for a while. She was gone for 8 months.
I think she was in
Bring her back at
witness
Belmont.
protection or something.
I don't know, man. She was in for the tag when she came back too. She was in for the 40 when she came back, and then they ran her for the quarter, and now they're running her for the 16.
Well, she wasn't entered to be claimed in her race coming back, right?
She was.
It says C.
There's no N there.
Oh, N means no?
C is a condition. So
gotcha.
it was a money allowance. It was a money allowance optional claim race. So in all likelihood, they wrote the race for someone. She entered and was in for the tag, which is not a great sign. Drop her for the quarter, drop her for the 16. This is a filly. I'll tell you what. I
You're
would
very
be
close to saying, here's the thing.
I would be very surprised if she didn't go to a new home today. She has a New York bred conditions, but you got to be careful. 40, 25, 16. She's the interesting horse in this race. So she has races. The 2 races last winter, even the race against the Great Johanna. The Great Johanna was on a roll when she ran into her. She was 7-2.
She finished behind Fight on Lucy, to be fair.
Say again?
She did finish behind Fight on Lucy.
Well, that's okay. I mean, then she went to the bench for 8 months. So obviously something was amiss.
Would you like to take a break? Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple seconds. Talk about the late pick 5.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses.
Hello.
He's the big A, Anthony Stabile. That's all you need to know. By the way, Anthony's in for a tag today if you want to take him home.
It's an 11-day break though. You got to feed me for 11 days.
You make a great point.
Yeah.
Yes. For that reason, there's a special lower price available. You have to inquire privately.
The old Earl Shive, $99.95. Remember? Paint any car for $99. You don't remember those commercials? No. Earl Shive in the '80s. He would come on. He's big horse owner out west.
I don't remember that.
I'm Earl Shive. I'll paint any car for $99.95. Oh yeah, Earl Shive commercial. Fantastic.
Race number 6. Race number 6 feels to me like a race that's probably going to be won by a firster. I mean, I don't know.
Here.
I just don't. I mean, you look at the horses that ran. I don't want to be too tough on them. Eddie Barker's horse, I mean, did break a couple lengths slow and did a little bit of running, so I don't suppose the 4 is impossible in here. But, I mean, you start going through them unless, I mean, absolute privilege, I suppose. It is Wayne Potts. You want to kind of throw his horses in. But I don't know. They tried a stake first time out in synthetic. So he must have liked something about her, but she did no running at all. And now, you know, I guess her pedigree is more leans towards dirt. And I just don't like Scoot and Boogie.
The old giant Gizmo. I want to say, I'm going to screw this up. I want to say that was Chris Block, but I could be getting this horse. Chris Block is the old Midwest connection. Like Giant Gizmo's the sire.
Oh, the sire. I know. I actually written that down. Yeah. This horse also sold for $3,000 Canadian. So it's hard to be too optimistic. Yeah. We'll see. And Loose Scoot and Boogie, like you, have got the horse third.
Of the horses that have run, if a runner wins, in all likelihood it's going to
be her. And I will say, the Asmussen barn horses have picked up. Mm-hmm. They've been running a lot better. Puts the blinkers on, but I think we're all. Do you have a tip here? I just guessed with firsters. I have no story.
No, I mean, to me, it wasn't too. If you, and we're on the same line here. A firster's going to win this race. The 2 trainers you're going to take with first-time starters are Wesley Ward and Brittany Russell. I mean, Brittany Russell.
Well, I could use Ray Handel on the rail. I mean, I don't know. His horse has been live. I just didn't see anything. Depends on the constitution, but the dam side pedigree is horrendous.
But I'm saying as far as for Ray doesn't win with a lot of firsters.
You're going to use Brittany. You're going to use Brittany Russell.
I'm going to use Wesley Ward.
Or Wesley Ward, right?
What are you going to do?
Right, Wesley shipping the horse in.
We're not geniuses.
I mean, our working girl, the pedigree is much more turf for this horse, but Wesley ships the horse from Keeneland to run here. He could run the horse at Turfway if he wants.
And you're right, if it leans turf, you'd probably want to try the all-weather.
Right.
But it's an $80,000 pot.
No, I get it, but still, if he didn't think the horse could handle the dirt,
he didn't think the horse, right. I mean, the horse worked, there was a bullet at Keeneland. The horse worked 47 and change, so obviously, at the very least, she can handle a little dirt.
And you've got Saul Cumin on top. I'm very depressed, by the way. I texted Saul about this the other night. One of my favorite things in watching the NBA is seeing Saul sitting at those courtside seats at the Celtic games. And now with no fans, I can't turn the Celtic games and see Saul. It's kind of disappointing.
That's,
We've got Spike Lee, the Lakers have Jack Nicholson, and the Celtics are stuck with Saul. Think about
and
that.
Donnie Wahlberg.
It's really not Saul. Donnie Wahlberg's. That's right. You're a big
new kid on the block. I'm a blockhead, my man.
Race number 7, races 7, 8, and 9 are all bringbacks from Thursday. And we'll take this race changed because, of course, Backside of the Moon was entered in it. Good move running in the stake instead, though the purse is not significantly different. It's 16,000 different. This was a pick change I made because of yesterday's track. Per Capita's loose. I don't love Per Capita. I don't trust this horse, but he's
supposed to be loose, right? And I just don't trust him, man.
I don't trust him either. I agree. I'm not a big fan. I don't trust this horse.
This was a hungry bunch of horses.
Well,
Hunt the Front's coming from the moon to almost run him down.
I like Hunt the Front. You knocking my man Nick Zito?
I know. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, he ran down a horse that was staggering on the lead and held off Hunt the Front. And now we haven't seen him again.
I don't trust this horse.
We haven't seen him again for 3.5 months. Now, and I know the way the racetrack's playing, he is supposed to be gone.
Well, you don't know how the racetrack's playing. We haven't run a race on it.
Right. Well, the way it was playing yesterday, he is supposed to. You know what? Regardless of how the track was playing, he's supposed to be gone on the front end in here.
My favorite moment of the day is coming up in a second.
Moments away. Oh, yeah, it's the top of the hour.
A's the horse to beat. I agree. I thought Someday Jones the best horse in the race. We'll take a look at him winning last time. I know it was just a few days ago.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround.
I know he had some pace to set it up. He was still wide every step around the racetrack, and he just kept on running. I thought he was the horse to beat. I just worry that on yesterday's track he could be compromised. Because the thing about a track like yesterday is it doubly helps per capita because you get 2 turns and more distance on the inside. And it's not that it necessarily helps him, but it kind of hurts the others who are chasing outside. I thought he was logical in here. I don't have a strong opinion
My
on him.
big problem with him is this is a horse that, and
pretty good,
Canamachi,
though.
Merton Olay, Canamachi do this a lot. They'll claim a horse, they'll run the horse back. This is a horse who, to me, it looked like John Service made it his business to give him at least a month between his races. You'd see months, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 3-month breaks here and there, and now you're asking him to come back. Also,
You don't have him 1, 2, 3.
I don't like him today. I don't like him today at all because of the quick
You're
turn.
really going to leave him with a bang with leaving horses that
Yeah.
are obvious horses.
Listen,
out of time.
I don't like this horse today.
What do we like about Limonite off of
I like
win off
horses
the
that
turf?
are in form. I mean, I know he's coming
There
in
was
from
one at
Mike
Thistledown
Maker.
and one off the
I'm
turf
very
race.
well aware. I'm very well aware what he's done. But, you know, this horse, it's funny. I remember when Steve Asmussen had this horse, he thought the world of this horse.
Well, that's why he ran
In
the
the
turf
beginning.
87
In
times.
the beginning, I'm just listen, in the beginning, when it all began. I also think, ultimately, distance is going to be
But Steve
this
Asmussen was
horse's
wrong
friend.
about it,
No,
thinking the world.
I'm
Okay.
very well aware. I think distance is ultimately going to be this horse's friend. Since he's come back from the July break,
Based on what?
He's been based on the fact that he's been running through the.
So Steve
wire in
Asmussen
the
never
last
ran him
3
in 9
races.
furlongs, but or farther. You think he wants to go longer? Just,
I don't know if he had the opportunity. I mean, he ran him in the mile and a
I thought he
16th
wasn't
races at
impossible.
Churchill.
He comes out of a dreadful field. I mean, he beat a turf horse in Space
Yeah,
Mountain.
it was an off the turf race. I understand.
Ridiculous.
Listen,
He
I
won a race at
understand that.
Thistledown at 4 to 5 before that in a sloppy track. I mean,
He's found, and I know the races have been slow, but he found a little tactical speed since that break as well. I don't know, I
what he
thought
found
was
was
a
slow
little interesting.
paces. He didn't find tactical speed. He found slow paces. He's never been that slow. I mean, he just was in paces that were faster. Okay, that's fine. He can win. How do you have Kumar second and the 6 no one?
I told you, I don't like the tournament for.
Okay, what do you like about Kumar? You didn't like Kumar at all last time.
I didn't like
we had a
Kumar
fight in the
at all
show
last
how you
time.
could leave
I
him out
didn't.
last time in that field, but here you like him.
Yeah.
Based on.
Kumar's another horse. It looks like he's kind of found his
I mean,
form.
Singapore Trader.
The blinkers went back on, and the horse kind of found his form. Listen, I don't trust either favorite in here, so I'm taking some
He beat
prices.
Grit and Glory in Singapore
I'm
Trader.
very well aware of who he beat.
Are you?
I don't like the chalks in here. I think the chalks are vulnerable in here. So
I
there's
tell you
not
what.
a lot of places left to go, man. Where am I supposed to go?
One thing I'll say about Kumar, he's in good form, and he did run okay last time. He did blow the brake and still circle the field and win. Having said that, I got a pretty quick pace to run into.
I want the 2 horses in form that aren't coming back in 8 days.
But Kumar's not even going to be a big price. Okay, I'll make a. We're at
What price is he?
57.
Hold on a second. Hold on. What, he's sixth. He's the
We're
fifth
at,
choice.
We're
on
at
the morning line.
57. Roaming Union is basically the same price. I'll take 5 over 3 for 2 lunches.
You'll take. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Got to have something, some action.
Yeah. I mean, it's the last day before the break, of course.
Race number 8. Oh, by the way, Bobby Frankel claimed Giant Gizmo. How bad do you feel now?
Claim giant. What?
Trained.
Oh, you said claim.
How bad do you feel
Bobby
now?
Frankel.
This is really an embarrassing moment for you. I mean, Bobby Frankel's your man.
Giant Oak.
Correct.
Giant Oak was the
Block
horse.
horse.
Ah,
Correct. I tell you.
Giant. I don't even remember.
Do you need a
Gi-
break?
Now I don't
do you
remember.
need, do you
Giant.
need like? Do you need to take a few
No,
minutes
we're
to
good.
gather yourself? You
Wow,
sure?
that's disgusting.
I know this is an embarrassing moment for you. I hope Chad's
When
not
was
watching.
that?
If Chad's
I thought
watching,
that's who
No,
blew me
no,
up just
it's-
now. I don't even remember. I thought I forgot about this horse. I thought it was the Chris Block horse. Giant Oak was the Chris Block horse. Wow, bad job by me. That's why we need the break. man.
right in front of Nosferatu.
This is good. Listen, I'm 15 minutes away from the longest vacation I've had in 7 years.
By the way, you
And here it
favorite
comes.
part of Mount Rushmore. Race number 8. So one day I'll know the relevance of that. Race number 8, as we go on, I'm going to take a look at the stretch run of the race that a bunch of these come out of, including Black Irish and Ernie Banker and Rift Valley. I kind of want to focus on Rift Valley. It took a lot of money, a $600,000 first-time starter for Short Leaf for Jimmy Jerkins. I don't know, but Rift Valley looked like he did not like the wet. He's drifting in. Javier's hitting him left-handed. He's coming out. He's going in. Javier's thinking, what am I doing here with this horse, right? Really thinking I should have scheduled that operation a little bit sooner. And we hope to see Javier's progressing well. We hope he's back soon, by the way. I just thought about that. I don't know. I think, I think we both figure this horse took money. Didn't know he was doing it in a wet track. He's got to be better than that, right?
Yeah,
Gotta hope he is.
that looked like it was
Made
all.
600,000. You hope he is.
That looked like it was all. What is this stuff underneath?
The problem is, it's going to be a short price.
Yeah, he is.
And that's what bothers me, is he's going to be at a short price, and I don't know. There's no guarantee he can run, but he certainly seems stupid for his first race.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he just didn't handle the wet track last time.
I
Gets the
don't-
experience. And
I don't want to
Gets
take
Lozano.
that, though, on I don't want to go on the wing and a prayer at a short price. It's kind
that's
of...
fair enough. But they're really, to me, there really weren't a lot of places to go here.
Well, I mean, that's not wholly fair. I mean, Black Irish is obviously fast enough to win this race. Neuro has run fast enough in his turf races. Ernie Banker's not impossible. I like Not Far Now. I thought, the horse ran very well off a layoff. Maybe he kind of regressed getting the muddy sealed track. And I'm hoping he gets back to that effort on 10-17 when he lost to Raven Rocks. Who do you think was third in there? Has turned out to be okay with a win and a second for Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought he was super logical. It's nothing brilliant.
I thought it was 2s and 9s.
I
thought it was 2s and
You
9s.
see these races as black and white, and I don't. And I think yesterday's card should open your eyes to that. I'll tell you a horse that I thought was a little bit funny in here. I kept trying to which way to Malibu wake up? I mean, take a backwards view of him. He wasn't that bad last winter.
No.
Okay, he wasn't that bad. He comes off a long layoff, and he runs into that buzzsaw in this Ariel Powell race. He's only 10-11 to 1 in that race, and that race was loaded, okay? And then they run on the turf, then he gets slop going a mile. Back on a dry track, I don't love this horse, but if you want to give me a bomb in here for your super, I know which way to Malibu. Sometimes you see a long shot you don't want to pick, and you're not going to use, but you sort of keep falling back to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. You know my price? What is he? 20 to 1. If you put a gun to my head for a price, it would be American Piper. This is the horse that came in. He was at Saratoga. Remember, he came in from Laurel with all the bullet works.
Never did he run.
I know.
I got bet because Irad was on him. I know he got those fast works, and he is kind of a funny horse.
He'd beat a fuzzy for me.
Yeah, okay. Listen, I don't think anybody in here has run that well that you're supposed to be immune to taking a look. And you say it's 2s and 9s for you. I don't agree with
Well,
you.
that's what I'm doing. I mean, if you want to spread out, it was hard for me to kind of open. I don't think Ernie Banker really wants the 7 furlongs. I think Neuro's more of a turf horse.
But
Black Irish is in for the
not more of a
tag.
turf horse. He's run fast enough in the dirt to win this race.
He has, but I think he's run better turf races. I'd rather have him on the turf. That's not saying he can't win on the dirt.
There's no turf.
I understand that.
You know that the turf's closed this season.
It's a lot of snow on the turf. That's really why.
Otherwise, we'd be on it.
Of course. Everybody knows that.
Race number 9 is a tricky race. Race number 9. Let's start the conversation with a look at Gemography and Notorious Flirt. I had to leave the Gemography out. There were just too many horses for me to use. But let's be fair. Gemography's run well in 2 straight races.
Yeah.
You can't knock him.
No, I don't disagree with that. You know, the truth of the matter is, this horse had some back races as well just this year. When this horse came off the October to July break, this horse ran a 71 and an 81, and then kind of fell off form a little bit. But Mark's horses are all running a little bit quiet. Some of them quietly. Some of them, that horse yesterday ran huge. The maiden, the second-time maiden that you had mentioned. Yeah, this horse is
No,
running.
I agree. Mark Hennings's barn is very, very live. I
This
agree.
horse is run well.
I left this horse out. I would use this horse. I would use this. No, I had this my 5th pick, and I thought this race was wide open. I just used other horses, but there was just a little bit of randomness to the whole thing. I have no knock on the Raven Rocks, obviously, and we'll take a look at his maiden win last time. For me, though, and I think this is once again the case, got the money last time, and now you're getting a shorter price against winners.
No, listen, I can't do anything about that. The fact that this horse won. I mean, you keep busting my chops about this. I didn't even pick this horse last time, but I know what you're trying. I understand
You
what you're
missed the
saying.
boat.
Yeah, I guess.
You did. I mean, it's not just about the fact that I picked it or not. You missed the boat on this horse at a bigger price in an easier spot.
Well, let me ask you a question. Isn't this horse supposed to get a really nice setup in here today?
I don't know.
I mean,
I have absolutely no idea.
Leap to Glory supposed to
Good
go.
numbers for him, by the way, at Naira wins. Anthony, I don't know if he's getting a good setup or
He's
not.
supposed. I think he's supposed to.
I'm not assuming those things.
Okay.
I don't. You assume those things. I don't. I don't have any way of knowing. Races are run in a very random fashion around here, and I think by now you should have accepted that that's kind of a crutch.
I got to think at the very least he's forward.
It's a crutch.
That's not a crutch.
I don't know what he's going to be. From race to race, I have no idea.
Well, he lost all chance at the start, and then last time he wasn't that far from a. I mean, it wasn't a wicked pace, but I mean, I got to think he's going to be forward in here.
I don't, but okay. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anything. I'll tell you what I think is interesting here is Bulwark. Well, take a look at Bulwark winning. Isn't Manny Franco supposed to send Bulwark? He's fast.
He's supposed to try.
I would send Bulwark. I think we're going to. Yeah, I think we'll take a look.
But
at
isn't the problem here leap to glory in here with him?
I agree. I agree. But he's inside of him.
He is.
And we saw people holding inside position, being very, very. I'm going to use him because I think he's dangerous. I think leap to glory is not impossible in here, but I think Bulwark's interesting. He got a sloppy track last time. That Bronx Bomber race was a tough race off this win. It's an 85 buyer win. Now, I think the rail was good this day. I think the track helped him in here. But still, the fastest race anybody in here has ever run. I do not leave Bulwark out at a big price, but
I think you could say the same thing. You know, you mentioned leap to glory, right? I mean, look at the company. Look at the horses he's kept company with. Throughout the last 3 races, the 2 wet tracks and the turf.
But
right
he's
now,
got Bulwark to deal with. If he gets clear, leap to glory, he's going to win this race.
He could win this race.
I don't even care if the track is fair. He could win this race.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet Farragut. You know what? At the end of the day, maybe I was wrong about this horse wanting to go longer. Maybe the blinkers last time. He also tried to move into the pace last time, made a big wide move in there. I got to bet Farragut. I've been betting him in other races. You got him third. He starts back to a sprint.
I figured you were going to pick him.
I got to bet.
I figured you were going to pick him. I liked Raven Rock's last race. He will be on all of my tickets.
He's absolutely fast enough to win this race.
I didn't think this horse wanted any part of a mile, and I think the cutback is going to help him tremendously.
Well, to be fair, he didn't run that badly at a mile. His race 2 back isn't that bad.
No, it was fine. But
I think you're right. He's
was
better
just a grind. He didn't want anything. He didn't really want to go. They saw the blinkers didn't help last time. Pat Quick's a guy too. Pat Quick's another radar guy. He gets rid of the blinkers right away. I think this horse.
What about Luna's in charge?
I mean, another horse. You're playing pick 4s and pick 5s. You're not letting this horse beat you, obviously. But you know, you could say, well, he's got the open company races. He had a couple of chances in the state bred races, one on the turf and one on the dirt. I know he ran into Maxwell Esquire and he got beat by More Grateful, but man, he's starting to pile up those seconds and thirds now too, and he obviously can win this race, and he gets a rider upgrade to Lascano, but he's going to be. See, this was strange. I don't think there's any way. David has him at 5-2, and
he's going to be favored.
I think he's going to be a considerable favorite.
I don't think anyone can be a considerable favorite.
I thought it'd be
in this
under
race.
2-1.
I don't see how it's possible that anybody's under 2-1 in this field.
You want 2 as a push?
2 is a push. Well, 2-0-0 is a push.
2-0-0 is a push.
2-10 is me.
You get higher, I get lower.
Okay. 2?
Yeah, go ahead, do it for 2.
210 or above.
I thought this horse was. That was one of the reasons I picked against him. I thought he was going to be a big. I thought he was going to be.
I don't see how anybody's a big favorite. There's way too much going on in this race. Race number 10. Speaking of races, there's a whole lot going on. Big Scratch would look at it. Liberty coming out. How do you not have Ryan's Cat 1, 2, 3, 4?
I don't like this horse's last 2 races.
Anthony, this horse has been running against open company, and now he's coming into a conditional
I
claim
know.
race. This is a horse that's been entered. He's been entered in the wrong spot. Pretty much every race he's been in now, he's in the right spot, and he's the controlling speed.
Those races, the 3 and 4 back against straight 3-year-olds.
Okay, that's fine. No, you're right. Okay, you're right. Since then, he hasn't run an hours and 3 lifetime. I mean, McAaron released the Thunder, Topper T, Dilgren's Call. I don't know. Okay, he's the worst to beat in my opinion. Obviously, everything changed to the Scratch. If the track is speedy, he'll be favored here in all likelihood. But keep in mind, when you see David's line, favorite got Scratch.
Right, of course. Yeah. I listen. This was.
Well, why would you?
This race
once again, why would you settle on a horse that got lucky to win last time out against an inferior field at 9? Why this horse?
Well, he's going to be another good price in
here.
What? I mean, another horse that.
Shouldn't he be a big price in here?
Well, I mean, I don't. You think he should be that big of a price in here?
Yeah, I think he should be a big price in here. I don't see how he's competitive.
Okay. I mean, if you take Ryan, if you don't like, if you have my opinion and don't like Ryan's cat,
Well, that's a bad opinion, but okay.
well, well, that
It's a
remains
bad
to be.
opinion to
We'll
leave him out
find
of
that
your
out at
top.
4:15.
Leaving him out of your top 4 is silly.
We'll find that out at
Yeah,
4:15.
so-
I mean, he's 8-1 on the morning line. You're telling me that a
Anthony,
horse that's
he's 8-1 because the 2-1 morning line is scratched.
Okay, well, so right, but whatever. I mean, he's not like he's the overwhelming second choice.
But he is the No,
There's
the
4
favorite is
horses.
Money in the Bank, and he's the second choice with your horse, Beachfront. So now you've got a horse that's the same. You think that Beachfront is more likely to win than Ryan's Cat?
Yeah.
Okay, let's bet here. I'm giving you a lot of opportunities to get back.
Okay.
We'll bet 2 lunches, 6
Sure.
over 8.
You got it. You got it.
I don't see your horse at all. Right time at the right place. Last
Maybe you're
time
right.
out. We'll see.
Maybe you're right.
My horse, obviously, like the posse, isn't going to win on yesterday's racetrack in all likelihood. Having said that, talk about a horse that's been in the wrong spot. I mean, look at the race he comes out of last time. That might have been the best off-the-turf race we've run all year.
Might have been the best conditional claiming race we've run
Conditional
all year,
claiming
too.
off the turf race, right?
Yeah.
Fed Funds, who came back to beat a strong field. Smile Bryan, Road to Meath, turf before that. This horse has been running against better horses. He drops down. He gets Jose Lezcano. This horse is he's just the right horse in the right spot. I don't know about the post now. What has he got, post 12?
Yeah.
It's going to be problematic. A fair racetrack he would need. I mean, feels like horses like Money in the Bank. Last time was the time. He's improved, but he beat Spitball and Victory Built. I mean, you start going through Thorny Tail. I've got him in there, but his career may be over. There's not that much going on in here. I'm about Ryan's Cat and the 14 pretty much.
Look, cause of action. You got him third. I have him second. Look, cause of action.
But you
He's
got to
12.
pick at Eddie Barker before
Well,
the holiday. You've really abandoned your man, Eddie Barker.
His last 2
Disgraceful
races.
you've
His
done.
last 2 races. Steam Engine and Smile Bryan are in there. Somebody. I mean, he's.
I agree.
You know.
I agree.
It's
He's
funny
running
because
out.
they're all these 35. They're all the 25s and 35s, but you can really dissect these races and the horses that you touched upon, and certainly Clause of Action have.
I
run
agree.
against better
Clause
fields.
Action is in there a little bit for me. 14-6, a little 10. But once again, you have to see how the track is playing, too. I don't know how, we'll see. All right. Good card today.
Yep.
Close it out. 10-day
Yes.
break. We're not going to see each other until New Year's Eve. Thankfully, we will be back to help bring in the new year.
Of course. Yeah, in a big way.
And you, because all the fun you've just had, need to head over to Naira Bets, become a member at Naira Bets. Use promo code MATCH200. We will match them to $200 of your initial deposit. Support racing in New York. It's very important to support racing for all of us, and we do. And we appreciate how much people support the game. We do. 2 people allow people like jerks like us to make a living in racing.
Big jerks.
And the bettors are the most important part of the game, so we appreciate everything you do for us very much. We done?
Good holiday season, my friend.
You too. Have a nice Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
I won't. I'll be watching NBA on Christmas.
5 games, 6 games.
5 games. I don't know if I make all of them.
I'll be eating.
I'll bet you will.
Parmesan triplets come out. Mom already started cooking.
I'm going to call your mother and tell her
She's
it's a
cooking.
very
Uh,
dietary
she's
Christmas
cooking.
for you, Santa. Anyway, you guys have a great holiday.
Santa's
as
on his
well.
way.
We wish everybody the best, and I will be here all afternoon between races. Johnny I, the man, up in the booth. Up next with the reprise, the scratches and changes.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Aqueduct on a cloudy Sunday. The last day of racing before we take a 10-day holiday break. Here at Aqueduct, the main track is fast, and the Empire 6 has a jackpot carryover of more than $139,000. Here now, a look at today's changes. In the first race, number 6, Flirtatious Kiss, is 1 pound over. Second race, couple of scratches. Scratch 1, Frost Me, and 3, Irish Constitution. scratch numbers 1 and 3. In the third race, scratch number 4, Madam McLean, scratch the 4. And note that number 9, Violent Point, is 1 pound over. And overweight in the fourth, number 8, Oh You Didn't Know, 1 pound over. And in race 5, note that number 2, Jackie Milton, will be 2 pounds over. And race 5 starts the Empire 6. And overweight in the sixth, number 6, Absolute Privilege, is 1 pound over. No changes in the 7th, and no changes in races 8 or 9. In today's 10th race, scratch 1, Tapizarance, 5, Looking at Liberty, and 16, Bend in the River. Scratch 1, 5, and 16. Number 3, Scores When He Wants, will run with blinkers on the 3. The rider for number 12, Money in the Bank, will carry no whip. And a jockey change on the 13, Thorny Tail, to Jorge Vargas Jr. Jorge Vargas Jr. on the 13, Thorny Tail. Aqueduct's main track is fast. We have an Empire 6 jackpot carryover of $139,360. And the mandatory payout date is Thursday, December 31st, New Year's Eve. The Sunday opener at Aqueduct in 27 minutes at 11:50.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com. Need help in finalizing your picks for the next race? Check out the Track Master selections provided by Equibase on every U.S. thoroughbred and harness track on Naira Bets. Use these selections to get quick expert advice from professionals in the business. Check out the thumbs up graphic next to the pick and a wager pad and scroll down for more details on the horse. Track Master selections available on Naira Bets and the Naira Bets app.
It only takes 20 cents to take down an Empire. The Empire 6 is the jackpot 20-cent pick 6 bet that's offered every day at the Big A. One unique winning ticket earns the entire net pool plus the jackpot carryover. Without a unique ticket, 75% is distributed to winners with 25% added to the jackpot. Win big with the Empire 6.
For details on the Empire 6 and mandatory payout dates, visit nyra.com/Empire6 today.
In Aqueduct's first race, quarter-inch bends for numbers 3, 4, 7, and 10. Bends 3, 4, 7, and 10.
Thanks for staying with us at Aqueduct Live. Andy Serling in the clubhouse studio here at the Big A as we have our final card before we take a holiday break. We'll be back with you on New Year's Eve, Thursday, December 31st. We've got 10 races to go today, though, an interesting card. A lot of big fields. Yesterday, we did see a track that was very kind to horses that were on the inside. I don't think it prevented some horses from making outside moves, but we did see horses benefiting from being inside. Now, that could all change today. We didn't really see it on Friday, and it came yesterday. It could be gone again today, but we'll have to monitor that as we go forward. Race number 1 at a mile, the horse who's favored down the inside. Well, drawing the inside didn't hurt Chasing Kara, and even on a fair racetrack. In a lot of ways, she's the one to beat. She's been keeping very, very tough company, and she's just run better races on the dirt than anybody here, and her speed, even on a fair racetrack, would be an advantage to her. On the other hand, she has to get the mile, and stamina has been a bit of an issue for her, and we'll see. There are some sort of strangers in here that could beat her, but I have no argument with her being the horse to beat in this race, as trainer Mitch Friedman has a strong hand in both the first race and the second race with Karamoka, the horse who blew up the tote board, coming back at a much shorter price in race number 2. Chasing Kara, the one perhaps to catch and beat. The number 5 Teetotaler, a lot of money to be spent for a horse with a huge pedigree. Not only the sire, Uncle Mo, but the dam Artemis Agritera, a multiple grade one winner. I believe she won the Frisette and the Ballerina for trainer Mike Hushin. Very, very good runner for Chester and Mary Broman that sold up in Saratoga in the summer of 2019 to Peter Brandt for $500,000. Didn't really get bet, excuse me, in her debut, and she didn't run well. Having said that, she jumped up just as the gate opened, and she took a lot of kickback, and that was the first weekend of the year. Now, there are some disputes about how much kickback necessarily affects different horses, but in her case, I think a first-time starter taking that kind of kickback probably was detrimental. With that race under her belt, I expect a better performance. We better get one, because she did not do a lot of running that day. But I think there are reasons to believe that she can and will run much better today. Moving on to a horse taking a lot of money right now, and that's the 7 Home for Christmas for trainer Christophe Clement. I get his horse is getting bet. He's done nothing but saddle winners. On the other hand, Horse's pedigree does not suggest it's supposed to move forward on the turf, though I'm in the dirt. No, actually, I shouldn't say that. There is pedigree to say can handle the dirt, but Christophe did not run this horse in the dirt, and frankly, this horse did absolutely no running in the 2 turf races, despite taking money. You better find a different horse today on the dirt. I don't get this horse at all. I think is being bet because of connections. Perhaps she'll be a better horse in the dirt. She better be. One final horse, the 10 Stormy Cat Lady. Rick Schosberg won a race on his birthday yesterday, a nice performance on Ruvy's on Time, and Charlie Marquez, who's aboard today, rode that one. Did lose to a very impressive first-time star, Christophe Clement, Brattlehouse last time out, and has had some chances. We'll see if she can work out a trip from the outside, and we'll see how this track is playing. And some light drizzle out there in the paddock. Race number 1, they've got a catch. Chasing Kara, I'm going to try to do that with Teetotaler. Race number 1, post time in 12 minutes, kicking off the early pick 5.